Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. On this episode, we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite and a possible, major heel turn, perhaps. And definitely a title change. But first, if you're watching this on the YouTube, do us a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. That means you like it. You can always take it away if you don't like it in the end. And then hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell so you always, find out when there's new Going In Raw stuff. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, do us a huge favor. Leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps boost Going In Raw in the ratings. We're going to talk about Dynamite in just a second. But first, there's a little bit of info about, Larson and Tessa Blanchard, their big signing when they sort of first announced that they were coming back and they were going to be on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
The Women of Wrestling reboot, though, has yet to really hold their first taping.
That's partly this weekend.
Okay. And but in advance of that, there's already a little bit of trouble brewing, apparently thanks to Tessa Blanchard. Larson, what's the scoop here?
So this is from Fightful Select. They're reporting that there has been some sort of fallout between Tessa and the promotion, according to Fightful. Tessa is no longer in charge of training talents. Apparently acting classes were canceled after Tessa dropped a promo that saw her, quote, tear apart wrestler Samantha Sage, which then led to, quote, many trainees speaking up. And then a former WOW talent speculated to Fightful that Tessa was likely gone from the company. However, Fightful was unable to actually confirm it with Women of Wrestling.
Interesting. I guess we'll find out. You think this is an elaborate? You think this is an elaborate work, Larson? Oh man, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Tessa is like, how many places is she going to take off that she's not going to be working at if this is the truth? If this is the truth.
I mean, it seems like I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
I don't know. Like, they announced this thing a long time ago.
They did, and AJ Lee's involved, like the creative side of things.
Involved, yeah. And then it was like, and then Tessa was involved, and they doubled down on and released that terrible shirt.
Oh, that shirt is awful.
Nuclear heat shirt.
So bad.
So yeah, I'm gonna say no to that, and that really bummed me out. I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And then she showed up and was like, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about AEW.
Yeah, let's talk about AEW.
The top heel in the company, Hangman Page, eviscerating CM Punk on the mic tonight. This was supposed to be apparently an angle that happened last week.
Yeah.
But he apparently tested positive or went to protocol or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And so they did it this week. I didn't really want to see the guy as a bad guy. He's too likable. He's too loved on the roster. I think this is probably just a one-off thing for Punk. Right?
Yeah, I think this is just the story. Because here's the thing: he drops that promo, which you can look at the verbiage, listen to him drop said promo. There's one detail that I noticed that for him this is all bluster. And it's when he got out of the ring and he stood on the floor and he let out a really deep, heavy sigh. He gets out of the ring and it's like me when I used to come in the office at 9 a.m.
Yeah, right. Rather be anywhere else.
It was like he probably felt I had to come out and do this, though I didn't really want to.
Yeah.
Like Punk got the opening salvo last week. He was gone. He has to come out and show that he's not going to be overwhelmed by the specter of CM Punk and all that comes with it. And so he has to say, I'm guessing, there's no respect, no handshake. I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
Yeah. Good guys versus bad. That's what I think. I just think he's like, I grew up with WWE. It had to be good guys versus bad guys. So I'll just be the bad guy. I like that idea. I mean, I like that Hangman he ain't a pushover anymore.
Nope.
He's not he's not the guy who in the Kenny stuff was sulking and sad. He's learned how to be, dude, this is my title. And nobody's going to take this shit away from me. And if I have to go through Lance Archer in a Texas death match, and then Adam Cole in a Texas death match, and then this guy, that guy, and the other guy, I'm going to do that. And CM Punk comes in here, and everybody loves CM Punk, and I'm so happy to be here, and I got all the people on my side, and the crowd's chanting CM Punk. All right, fine, fuck that. You're not getting the title. Sorry.
I imagine maybe a part of it from a storyline perspective too is Paige has been there since day one.
Yeah. And
here comes Phil coming on in, and sure, he's not launched into the title scene immediately. He's got some wins under his belt. You could say. I mean, hell, he's number one in the rankings. You can say he has earned a title shot. Legitimately earned a title shot based on his performance. Still, this is Hangman Page. He probably thinks, man, you just can't come into my company, walk up and think you get a title shot against me.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm with you. It's much more interesting for him to be like, no, fuck you.
I know.
As opposed to,
wow, Phil, it's an honor to be in the ring.
I remember watching you when I was like 15 years old, and I thought you were great then. I think you're great now. No, F that.
Yep.
This is my title. I mean, you're going to bleed. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, no.
You're old. I watched your UFC fights. Not impressed.
Not that tough after all. Yeah. I've seen your saddest face probably possible after you lost.
Right. I saw you literally look like another human after you got pummeled.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and this whole story they're doing with Paige has been great with its implementation of subtlety. You get little bits. Very rarely is it huge emotive moments. It's the little details where I feel like the real storytelling's happening here, and I think a lot of people are going to focus on him saying there's not going to be any masturbatory Bret Hart tribute match.
I loved that line.
That's a great line. I know I like that a lot.
That was awesome. But that was great.
I think it's the little bits, the size, the glances, and the little moments that really flesh out who Hangman Page is as a character right now.
It's always been Hangman's thing, too. That's what's great about it. It's that he's always been an attention to the details kind of guy with his character. Every time the camera's around him, or even, if he's in the vicinity of a camera, he's in the moment. He's doing all the stuff that all the breadcrumbs, you can put them all the puzzle pieces, you can put them all together. So I like that, man. It adds a bit of dimension to this, heading into Double or Nothing. Let's switch gears over to Ring of Honor, completely different promotion, owned by AEW. Mercedes Martinez is now the undisputed Ring of Honor champion. She was the interim Ring of Honor women's champion. Coming into this, of course, Deonna Purrazzo, who apparently couldn't make that Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
Card of Honor, yeah. Apparently, I think she did an interview. Gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the outlet. She said she already had a match, I think at Multiverse of Matches, the Impact show, the same weekend, the same day. Just couldn't do both matches the same day, so they had to reschedule her title defense. It makes sense now that Ring of Honor is an AEW / Tony Khan property. He owns Ring of Honor now. Deonna Purrazzo, she signed with Impact. It just was, as much as I would love Deonna Purrazzo to be on Ring of Honor. This new Ring of Honor. I think it'd be great because Deonna Purrazzo is great. Yeah. Contrast get in the way of that stuff. For like a full-time thing. So you kind of knew Mercedes was walking out of this match with the belt. Still a solid match. I wish they could have given it a bit more time, but I was happy it was the main event.
Man, I'm actually pretty happy about. I know you're. This isn't the point you were making, but Mercedes Martinez, at this point in her career, being the face of the women's division for Ring of Honor,
it's awesome.
I think we both agree it's great. And Deonna Purrazzo, she's probably, it wouldn't shock me if she ended up getting that Impact title back. She's still pretty much the face of that division. She's had a killer past 18 months or so. But I love this from Mercedes Martinez, man. She went to NXT. They did nothing with her. They tried to put her in Retribution. She was like, I don't want to do that. But for her, I really feel like this kind of this is such a great spot for her after the shot at WWE. They brought her into AEW. AEW doesn't feature the women as much as they should, so it's hard to get time there for her. She could easily get lost in the shuffle. Now look at her. Everybody's going to be watching this new Ring of Honor, at least at the outset. She's the perfect person to be holding that title and be the one that everybody's going after. I think that's pretty awesome for her. And Deonna's still on Impact, and that's great for her in their women's division. Those are amazing faces to have for your women's divisions.
Definitely. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. You know, Steve, life can sometimes feel overwhelming, and it's easy to feel burned out without really realizing it. There have been times where I've felt unmotivated or detached or fatigued, and I wondered why. Then I came to the conclusion that I probably was just burned out.
Yeah, man, usually burnout is associated with work, but any of our roles in life can lead to burnout. And BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking to someone can help you figure out what's causing the stress in your life.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've been through the process of trying to find a therapist, and I can tell you that it's not easy to find the right person to talk to. But BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to, and it's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the stress in your life, give BetterHelp a try. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Going In Raw listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw.
That's BETTERHELP.com/raw.
And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from our sponsor, ExpressVPN. So, Larson.
Yes, Steve?
You'd think if you're surfing the web in incognito mode, you and your online activity would be invisible. But you'd be wrong. It's fiction. But if you want to actually make yourself as invisible as possible online, then you gotta use ExpressVPN like I do.
Yeah, so it turns out that even in incognito mode, your online activity still gets tracked, and data brokers still get to buy and sell your data, including your IP address. But when you use ExpressVPN, your connection gets rerouted through an encrypted server, and you get a random IP address that's shared by other ExpressVPN users, and that makes it harder for third parties to identify and harvest your data.
On top of that, I'm using ExpressVPN whenever I get on the internet because it's also easy to use. It works on all my devices, like my phone, laptop, even my smart TV. And all I got to do is hit one button and bang, I'm protected.
So if you really want to go incognito and protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN. Visit expressvpn.com/GIR and get 3 extra months for free.
That's expressvpn.com/GIR. Go to expressvpn.com/GIR to learn more.
One more item to get here before we go to the breakdown of the show. Now that Ray Phoenix, Jeff Hardy have qualified for the Owen Hart tournament, we know the bracket. It is as follows. So on the left side, first round matches, you got Ray Phoenix taking on Kyle O'Reilly. Then you got Samoa Joe taking on Joker. Now, who is Joker? Is going to be genuine Joker product? Will they be Brand X?
I'm like, in my mind, let's just hash this out real quick.
Of course.
Brand X would be, in my mind, like a Jay Lethal. Like, he's already in a feud with Joe. He's already in a feud with him. He's not a new signee. He's not coming back from injury.
But I wouldn't say Jay Lethal's Brand X. It furthers the story they're telling with Joe and Jay Lethal. I wouldn't consider Jay Lethal Brand X.
It's too obvious. Brand X is obvious.
Yeah, Jay Lethal would be the obvious. Jay Lethal or Satnam Singh would be the obvious choices. Yes.
Yeah. I need a big return like a Miro. That's genuine Joker product.
Oh, absolutely.
I would need, or a big debut, Claudio Cameraman.
Yeah.
That's genuine Joker
product. That would be
product,
genuine
man.
Joker products. I
Satnam Singh lumbers down there. I'm thinking Brand X.
I honestly don't know.
What about Joker Sting? Where does he fall?
I mean, that'd be interesting if Joker Sting put himself in the tournament in the finals with Joker Sting versus Darby Allin.
Oh, that's genuine.
Because they're on opposite
Joker
side
product.
of the bracket. So the other side of the bracket, the right side of the bracket, we get a dream match in the first round. We're getting Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy.
Yeah,
and even tonight they're making a huge deal of that because it is a deal.
Well, like the company was. I love Darby and Sting's promo for that was, hey, this is going to be a real good match. And
it's going to be a special night,
I know you're going to bring it all. You're going to bring it. It's going He's right. It's going to be a special match.
Yeah.
I love that Sting completely Sting is being more influenced by Darby than Darby is Sting.
I know.
It's fantastic because now Sting is talking like angsty teen. I want to watch some Sting short movies, man.
Oh, that'd be
some
great.
of these student films that Darby does. I want Sting to do some of those.
That'd be great. Other first round match on the right side of the bracket, you got Adam Cole Bebe taking on Dax Harwood.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
That's gonna be great.
That's gonna be really good, man. That's gonna be awesome. So those are on those sides of the bracket, man. Darby versus Hardy. Who do you got coming out of that?
So here, let's start from the beginning. So Ray Phoenix versus Kyle O'Reilly. You gotta think Ray Phoenix wins that.
Ray's got to come out of that.
Ray's got to win that. Then Joe versus Joker. It kind of depends on who Joker is.
Ray's in a big thing right now with Hobb though, with House of Black. I don't know, man. I could see this is how it could totally go down. Kyle O'Reilly beats Ray. Joe beats Joker. Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly in advance of Joe versus Adam Cole.
Could be. Or you could have, if Jay Lethal is Joker, Joe beats him. Jay Lethal costs Joe his second round match against Kyle O'Reilly. You can have the finals be Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole.
Oh, you think they do that? They wouldn't do that.
Because it'll probably be Adam Cole will probably beat Dax. Even though I'd love to see Dax get a run in this tournament. I think that'd be great.
That'd be terrific. But yeah, I think you're right. Cole's going to beat Dax. I honestly think Cole's going to win the whole damn thing. I think Cole's going to beat Dax. I think
Darby will probably beat Jeff Hardy.
I mean, they might think to themselves, "Hey, have Hardy win here." Who's Darby? Darby's not really in a thing with anybody right now, is he?
Well, kind of. I mean, the Darby and Sting were watching Jeff Hardy's match tonight from the rafters, and that was before they announced the bracket. So,
yeah, but they were scouting for who they thought the opponent was going to be.
Could be, but also over the last few weeks, they've been kind of dancing around, maybe teasing something. But on BTE, even tonight, they were kind of setting up Young Bucks and Hardy. So who knows?
Yeah, no, but my point is, I don't think there's anybody who's going to interfere on, Hardy's behalf or Darby's behalf or something.
No,
they're not
probably
really
not.
In feuds
probably
to
not.
that degree is the point. I could see Cole. Dude, I don't know. I'm looking at this. I think it's going to be Cole versus Joe, but it all depends on the Joker. But yeah, the Joker, I don't know. If it's Jay Lethal, then you'd think that Joe's just going to beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, they got $1 million. They got that giant Satnam Singh guy there too, so who knows? Anyways, otherwise, Dynamite, another fun show, man. I thought there was good stuff.
Episode.
We had W. Morrissey showing up from Impact.
As expected, yeah.
To take on Wardlow. And man, how great is it for W. Morrissey? It wasn't that long ago that he was at a pretty low point, and he even talked about this in a promo on Impact recently. He was at a real low point, and then to come back to the point where he's showing up in the best shape of his life. Dude, you remember he was nowhere near this kind of shape in WWE.
No.
He is in phenomenal shape.
Yep, he's in awesome shape.
And doing really good work. And then Wardlow, I don't know about those high-flying moves from Wardlow these days. They look really cool. But, man, I thought he was going to snap his leg tonight. That move that he did.
Yeah.
It's like the I don't know, it was a moonsault or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty damn impressive. And it totally popped the crowd, and then he doled out one power bomb to W. Morrissey.
Yeah.
But Morrissey got a lot of his shit in, man. They really built him up like, hey, this guy's pretty special. So, and Wardlow, he gets the biggest pops, man. They're killing it with this Wardlow.
They really are.
They're killing it.
I mean, especially his entrance tonight, echoing Goldberg.
Oh, big time.
You know, the security leading him through the backstage area and the camera following him. The crowd chanting Wardlow in the same cadence as Goldberg. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was really good stuff. So we can just go ahead and dive into it. It kicked off with the Owen qualifier, Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. Adam Cole was on commentary. This was good stuff. Bobby Fish doesn't put on bad matches. Jeff Hardy gets the win here. Excuse me, with a swanton bomb, and then the Young Bucks come down. They sort of get in the Hardys' faces, not like being too aggressive, just like, this is going to happen. And then Adam Cole even said, man, I'd love to see the Young Bucks.
He'd give his left arm, he said.
Yeah, his left arm. Ooh, is that a clue right there, Larson? Some foreshadowing, perhaps?
But is he actually going to give his left arm?
This dude is just sitting there thinking about Elden Ring the whole time. And then they go down and they check on Bobby Fish.
They check on Bob Fish, yes. And then we got the they released it on social media in advance, but man, this Blackpool Combat Club video package where they're all taking turns simply beating the shit out of Wheeler Yuta while William Regal narrates it. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Wheeler Yuta needs to recruit somebody else so that dude would take the brunt of this because he's getting beat up. And the thing is, like, so they played about a minute of this on TV. This thing's like a 5-minute long video package that they released on social media. It's brilliant. It's Regal, just the way Regal should be, just being talking about slicing people's faces and shit. The whole theme is scars tell the story of the pro wrestler.
Yeah.
This is really terrific stuff. Of course, that was in advance of 6-man action, Blackpool Combat Club versus Butcher, Blade, and Angelico, aka Easy Pickens, for Blackpool Combat Club. And it was the same sort of thing. Danielson dropping those stomps on Angelico while Wheeler Yuta and Mox are doing their various submissions on the other guys.
Dropping some 12-6 elbows, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing the elbows while they're doing the stomps. That's right. And Brian taps out Angelico with a triangle.
Yeah. I wonder when they're going to start pushing Blackpool Combat Club to, I'll say, serious competition. No disrespect to Butcher and Blade and Angelico. They're great.
Yeah, no, Easy Pickens. That's who you mean.
Yeah. Because I like, the story of most of these matches is Wheeler Yuta gets isolated for a bit. Mox gets the hot tag. He goes on a run, and then either he or Danielson get the win usually, although I think Yuta's gotten the pinfall win for him once at least. We know they dominate. Let's see them against the stiffest of competition. That's what I want to see,
Well, let's ask this question. What are they going to do for Double or Nothing? I mean, these are Andrade's guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be like an Andrade?
Andrade wasn't out there. I don't think he cares.
Well, I'm just trying to think.
No, I know.
They step up to if they're climbing the ladder. I just don't know. I mean, are they going to be left off of Double or Nothing? That'd be
let's speculate on some other trios potentially. Of course, you got.
Oh, talk about easy pickings. Like House of Black has been taking on the easiest of pickings lately.
Yeah. But there's them. There's Cole and either the Young Bucks or Redragon.
Okay.
There's Jurassic Express and Christian. Death Triangle. Although they're in a thing with House of Black, so that probably ain't going to happen.
Oh, that's right. They're in a thing with House of Black. Are they going to do like a 9-man triple threat trios thing?
Will Julia Hart finally join House of Black then?
Yeah, they should have done that shit tonight, man.
I know. The crowd was ready for it. They were going to pop if she had hit Griff Pillman with that chair.
You got to learn when to just pull the trigger. Stop, man. You can only do the teasing so much.
I know. Again, that's one of those segments. I'll just jump ahead and get this point in real quick. Where in another medium, that works.
Yeah, like a horror flick.
Yeah, exactly. On the stage, in a book, an opera, whatever. That kind of stuff works. But right there in the wrestling ring, it's two things. You set up an expectation. The crowd's ready to deliver on that expectation. When they do, it could be quite a moment. You don't give it to them, it's deflating.
Yeah.
Second, as good as an idea as that could have been, in the presentation of the pro wrestling thing in the ring, it could come off as a little bit hokey.
Yeah, and that's what it did. It's like, realistically, why would the Pillmans have anything to do with her at this point? Like, I appreciated the visual too right after they say she's only 20 years old, she's the youngest roster member, and then who walks up to her and puts his hands on her shoulders? Buddy Matthews. It's not Aaliyah, dude. Yeah, no, you're right. It was hokey, and honestly, like, it wouldn't have been if they just the thing that bugged me was that they literally had all four corners of the ring. They owned all four corners of the ring because Julia was in one of the corners and the Pillmans had their back. And commentary said, oh, They're protecting her. Then you do the thing. You have her load up that foot and you kick one of the Pillmen square in the balls.
Yep.
And then that's it. You do it.
I know.
And then they got this weird stuff.
A real simple thing they should have done, too, is not brought all the house lights up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Keep it dimly lit. Give it atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 But,
I like the idea of it. I liked where it was going, but you got to follow through and give it a little bit more atmosphere so it doesn't feel like typical pro wrestling presentation. Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
No, I agree. I don't know who Blackpool Combat Club's going to take on at Double or Nothing, but there's plenty of people. It's obvious that they're setting up this trios thing as a pretty big deal. But we are only about 3 weeks away from it, so they probably should get a move on.
They definitely should. Next, we got a Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs interview. Starks, he's asked about taking on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for the tag titles. Starks about to say that he's not scared. Jungle Boy interrupts. He says, I took a week to think over your challenge, and it sounds like fun, but then I thought about it even more, and I want to spice things up a bit. So before you guys get a title shot for the tag titles, I want a shot at the FTW title. And Stark says, I accept your challenge. Next week, I'm going to show you, Jungle Boy, what a real man is all about.
Yep. After that, we had a Keith Lee Swerve Strickland interview. Swerve says Starks and Hobbs have unfinished business with us. He says, don't go for the prize when we got to pay that ass back. And then Lee calls Hobbs and Starks dubious for getting Taz involved in their match. And he assures them that they will swerve in their glory. It's a play on both of their things.
And Vask, in their glory.
So they give, after that, we get Wardlow versus W. Morrissey. As you mentioned before, they gave Wardlow the whole, basically a Goldberg entrance, except Goldberg isn't, being let in like a prisoner. Wardlow has his hands cuffed, of course, and the camera's following him from the parking lot with security. MJF comes to the stage, says, I'd love to say it'd be great to be back in Maryland, but then I'd be a lying piece of shit. Speaking of which, here comes Wardlow. And he says, Wardlow, I'm not staying out here because I can't stand seeing these fans. I'm watching this in the back, but you should be terrified of your opponent, William Morrissey. The crowd, this bugged me. I mentioned this in the pre-show.
Yeah.
We're chanting, we want Enzo. At one point, Morrissey mocks the Enzo strut, which I thought was a good response to that.
It was. Well, like half the crowd was chanting, we want Enzo. The other half was chanting, no, we don't.
Shout out to those people.
Yes.
Shout out to that half of the crowd.
Nonetheless, regardless of what the conversation was going back and forth in the crowd, the focus wasn't on Morrissey and Wardlow at that moment, where it should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. So yeah, anyways. He gets a lot of his shit in here.
Yeah.
Bashes Wardlow's head in the apron, hits a boss man slam, gets 2 with that. At a certain point, so Morrissey puts Wardlow up on the top. Wardlow's able to fight him off. He hits a moonsault, which was nuts. And then power bombs Morrissey for the win. I love that Wardlow is just busting out new shit every week.
He did a moonsault last week.
Oh, was it a moonsault like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's done moonsaults
It's awesome,
before.
man.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that he's like, people want to compare him to Goldberg. That's fine, but Goldberg never did cool shit like that, man.
No. So afterwards, security gets in the ring to try to cuff him back up. Wardlow fights them all off, and then MJF and Spears come to the stage, and there must be like 20 security guards that come running out. And Wardlow destroys each and every one of them, and then awesome bombs one security guard onto another. Wardlow then grabs the mic, says, I'm not going to stop until I get my hands on you and you release me from my contract. MJF has a mic, says, oh, you want your release? Well, how would you feel if we had a match, and if you win, I'll let you out of your deal? And then MJF says, all right, you're on. But I got a couple conditions, and I'll give them to you in a contract signing, but it's not happening tonight. It's going to happen in the most magical place in the world, Long Island. Next week.
Yep. People love him in Long Island. But I don't know, man. That's going to be a real test for him because people love Wardlow. Anyways, after that, we had Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho in that same interview room they're always in. Still just talking, still with the no touching each other stuff. Anyways, they got a tag match. It's opening Rampage. Special time because of the playoffs.
Yes.
It says, first time a women's match has opened the show. Britt says, every page of the AEW history book has my name written all over it. Says, you can call me Britt Baker, the history maker. And then Ruby says, I'm tired of hearing you talk. I like that Ruby and Tony were wearing matching outfits too.
Yeah.
Says Tony can't wait to get her hands on Jamie, and that Britt, you got a receipt coming. So I can't wait till Rampage starts. But if you're waiting for us to leave, we're not gonna move. And then nobody moved. They just sort of stood there.
Yeah. Yep. And then next to that, we had the Hangman Page interview. He comes out and says, "Be real easy for me to see how much I love CM Punk, how much I respect him. Be really easy to say how much I look forward to standing across the ring from him and shaking his hand. It'd be really easy to say how much I'm looking forward to having an all-time classic. It'd be easy, but it's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
At Double or Nothing, there will be no handshake. There's not going to be a Bret Hart masturbatory tribute match. I'm going to destroy CM Punk." And the crowd starts chanting for Punk. And he finds a Punk fan wearing a Punk shirt. He says, "Hey, you, with the Punk shirt on. After I'm done with Punk, you're going to go to the merch stand and get a refund for that shirt." He says, "I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as champion, I guess I kind of have to. Punk ain't here tonight. And if I were a betting man, and I am, I'd say he's off filming another TV show. He was in that Mayan show, right?" Punk.
Oh, was he in the Mayans MC? Because obviously he was in Heels as well.
Yeah, I just saw the thing last night that he was in Mayans.
Nice. I have not seen a lick of that show.
Same.
The finale of Sons of Anarchy put me off motorcycle shows pretty much.
Yeah.
Completely.
So he says, "But wherever Punk is, I want you to hear this. I'm going to embarrass you. Punk, you said you wanted to fight. I'm going to give you the fight of your life." And as I mentioned, he leaves the ring and just stands ringside for a sec. And then walks.
Yeah, man. He was like, that was a lot of talking. Maybe he was just out of breath because he had COVID. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wardlow last week.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the match right now. I think I remember it was different than a moonsault.
I swore he's hitting a moonsault before, though.
I'm looking at this match right now. The Archer match. This is such a good match.
Oh, last week he hit a swanton.
Shoves him down.
It's a swanton.
Looks around. Gets up on top. Or MJF's yelling at him.
It's a swanton.
This fool goes up and oh my God. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a swanton. That's what I thought. So it was something different. Cool. After that, we had this video package for, God, how do you say his name? Konosuke Takashita? Is that right?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. This guy's phenomenal. I've seen like little clips, little bits and pieces. I obviously don't watch the YouTube shows. But that's cool. He's going to have a match on Dynamite next week, right?
Rampage, I think.
Oh, is it Rampage? Okay.
Yeah, because next Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt have a promo on there saying, "Well, how come we didn't get the red carpet rolled out for us like he has?" But he says, "Our beef isn't with you, it's with AEW. But how about we go one-on-one on Rampage?" And Jay Lethal says, "I'll show you what a real international superstar looks like."
After that, we had Santana versus Chris Jericho. While the Jericho Appreciation Society were making their entrance, Santana hits Jericho with a gnarly suicide dive. This was rad. They start off brawling ringside. I love that, like, Jericho Appreciation Society, they were so, like, flipped out by this suicide dive that they didn't try to, like, separate them or pounce or anything because Ortiz stepped up and backed them all the way.
It was great.
That was awesome.
That was great. A lot going on here in the end, though. Angelo Parker produces Floyd. So Ortiz runs over, grabs a bat from him, takes out Parker and Hager, and then Santana hits Jericho with a discus layer. That gets him a 2 count. Santana hits a cannonball in the corner. Daddy Magic. Matt Menard gets on the apron. Ortiz takes him out, but that distracts the ref. So Jericho, bang, low blow, Judas effect for the win. Then afterwards, Jericho Appreciation Society is attacking Santana Ortiz, and that's when Claudio cameraman was really noticeable. And I was like, "Oh, is Claudio going to make an appearance?"
I know, I didn't even notice the cameraman at that point, but I was like, "Is this because they keep on pushing 5 versus 2?" Now, obviously, Eddie's going to be, he's going to come back hopefully with no eyebrows, but that still leaves 2.
I know,
if my math is correct there.
Your math is sound, Steve.
Nice.
Hernandez, homicide.
I know, that's still the best idea. God damn it. That would be the fucking best. And then who you bring in to manage them? Like Kingston kind of manages it. Conan.
Yeah.
You bring Conan in.
Yeah.
The whole crew together.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Is Diamante still working there?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. She had a match against Toni Storm on
Bring her along.
on Darker Elevation. Yeah.
She should already be with those dudes. Anyways, we had a really quick Samoa Joe in an awesome red polo shirt promo where he says, Jay Lethal, you're out here making challenges, but challenges are the territory of brave men. Are you brave, Jay? If this is WWE, Jay Lethal would then be renamed to Brave Jay. He says, this Friday on Rampage, I'm coming for Jay.
It was great. It was great.
Come Friday.
So then we go backstage in Gun Club. Austin, Colton, Daddy, Papa, Billy
Papa's
Gunn.
there.
So they have these gifts with them, and they walk up to the Acclaim, and they said, we talked to our Papa, our Dad.
Papa. Yeah, Dad.
And we got you gifts. And so they open them, and out of these boxes, the Acclaim pull scissors. And they're like, oh, scissors, this is great, but what does this mean? And Billy says, all right, let's stick it in there. Let's stick him in there. And then they all start doing the Acclaim scissor thing. And what cracked me up is that Caster, then he has scissors in one hand, and he starts actually getting the real scissors in there.
And they're like, whoa.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I just love Billy Gunn, that fucking giant statue of a person, Billy Gunn. Bring him in.
Yeah.
And he's got both
Stick
hands
it in
up
there.
And then the kid, like his kids are like doing a Gallus version of the 3-man scissors.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was really. I love that they always insist one of them has to say, dad or daddy. The other one has to say another word for dad.
Yeah.
This time it was papa.
Papa.
That cracked me up.
Yeah,
Papa.
it was pretty funny. It was pretty damn funny. After that, we had the Pillmans.
Oh boy.
And Julia Hart in the ring. So
oh boy.
Brian Pillman says, I stand here, a very humbled young man. Talks about being humbled by a lot of things. John Harbaugh, the coach of Baltimore Ravens, they were Baltimore Night, was in the crowd. I guess he was Pillman Sr., Brian Pillman Sr., college roommate at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Pillman Jr. finally gets to a quote from John Harbaugh, which is attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And Pillman pretty much says, I haven't been doing that. Got complacent, got comfortable, lost that enthusiasm, and that's how the House of Black has drove us apart. He says, but today I feel that enthusiasm. Enthusiastic about keeping our group together. House of Black, come on out. So lights come down.
The way you read that, by the way, had about twice as much enthusiasm.
And it was about a fifth as long.
Right, exactly. So yeah, House of Black, come on down. Lights go down. House of Black make their entrance. Lights go down. They're in the ring surrounding the Pillmans. Julia stands in her own corner and the House of Black attacks. Buddy lawn darts Pillman into Griff. Brody follows the cannonball. Malachi walks up.
Great.
Yeah, it was really cool. Malachi walks up to Julia, and then Buddy leads her over to Griff. He's lying on the mat. Brody hands her a chair. And at first I was worried because she had it positioned in the wrong way, like it wasn't the flat side on the striking area.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So she raises it to hit him, but she can't. She doesn't do it. Malachi comes over. He rips the eye patch off of her face. And then those goons, the Death Triangle, come to the ring and make the save. And Phoenix, as your notes say here, is wearing just an amazing-looking cape. It was what was better, this or Idris Enofe's cape?
It was Idris Enofe's, but Phoenix was a close
really
second.
Good-looking cape.
It was a great cape. It was a great cape. So when Malachi ripped off the eye patch from Julia's face, she instantly just put her hand over because, like today, for weeks she's had the eye makeup kind of match of Malachi's under the eye patch just kind of peeking out. It was like over half her face this time.
There was a lot going on there.
Yeah,
there was a lot going on.
Like so much so, I was like, how come no one is saying anything about this?
Yeah. Well, that's it, dude. It's one of those pro wrestling tropes that we've talked about before that WWE is usually pretty egregious in violating or doing. And it's one of those things where it's like, why aren't they communicating? Why aren't they? I mean, maybe on Dark Elevation, maybe in some other social media land they do.
Well, I think Pillman initially called out House of Black on Darker Elevation.
Okay, but is there any footage of them being, Julia? Let's talk about that eye. You really need to get it checked out.
You're asking me too many questions about this.
I was more being,
this rhetorical.
It was a rhetorical question. I'm not. I know you don't watch those YouTube shows. I know I don't either.
I don't know. You're just talking into a microphone. I assume you're talking to me. So.
No, man. I know you're not going to have the answer for me.
No, I don't have the answer for you. So after that, we had Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan with Mark Sterling. Mark says, hey, they've kept the celebration going since Pittsburgh. Jade is 30 and
Oh,
0.
this is a great idea. Jorge says, now we need an enforcer to give us the lowdown on elevation.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Answer those questions for us.
Indeed. So Sterling's putting over the baddies. Jade's 30 and 0. They had an incredible tag match, and Red Velvet qualified for the Owen tournament. And Red Velvet says, "Yeah, I qualify. I'm going to win the whole thing." So I like they're really pushing the three of them as a faction because they're pretty awesome together.
I love the baddies.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
They are great.
After that, we had this was just a holy shit match right here. Phoenix versus Dante Martin. We all knew it was going to be a holy shit match. You said this in the pre-show. You felt like this is sort of the tip of the iceberg of what they could do, and you're absolutely right.
And it was still incredible.
Even the tip of the iceberg. This was awesome. They did that thing towards the finish where they go for I guess they were gonna go for like a Spanish fly, but they both ended up like jumping, like leaping and flipping off the top and landing at the
same time. That was pretty great. That backflip leg sweep off the second rope that Phoenix did. I had never seen anything like that.
Yeah, dude.
Like even commentary had a hard time like describing and trying to ascertain what it was. It was pretty great.
Oh my God, you got JR in there. He's completely. Oh man, what was that? What do you got there? What's this?
So the finish saw Phoenix looking for a muscle buster. Dante counters with a roll up, gets him a 2 count. Dante hits a super kick. He goes up top. Phoenix hits him in the back, and that's when they do the flip thing. Looks like Phoenix is trying to go for a Spanish fly. Land on their feet. Dante hits a poison Rana. He's looking for the nosedive. Phoenix evades and then catches him and then hits a driver. I think that was his finish in Lucha Underground to get the win.
Could you imagine JR on NXT 2.0? Oh my God, look at that. Holy shit. Where's that beach? Let somebody show good old JR where that beach is. Oh my God. I want to do some sun tanning. I want a tanning bed. Where's that? I'm hard right now. Whoa, JR, relax.
Like there's a couple times during matches where the action's like really good and he's going off on tangents.
Oh, that dude will go on tangents, man. Oh man, that poison Rana reminds me of this time I had to lay a bunch of poison traps for these rats in my house.
Have you ever had poison oak, poison ivy? It's really irritating.
One time I got some of my balls. It was horrible. I got it on my hand, and then I went to go crank my organ. And I put my hand down there, and I touched it, and I was like, oh, man, this is the poison ivy hand. Okay, well, we had the finish 5 minutes ago, JR. Anyways, after that, we had the Darby Allin promo. Hey, Jeff, match against you writes itself. And Sting says, I know you guys are going to pull out all the stops. It's going to be a special night.
Yeah.
Here's Joker.
It was pretty mellow. Then we had a Thunder Rosa promo. I like let her go out there with the mic and tell her story. You know, the night, her first appearance after she won the title, I feel like they were going to do something like this, or that was the expectation. And then she got interrupted by Nyla and Vicky. I'm happy. Got this opportunity. So she says, everyone has a story to tell. I'm going to tell mine. Says it's full of good guys and bad guys, failures and successes. I'm going to start with the success. I'm the AEW Women's Champ. But when I came to AEW, I came with no expectations. I just wanted to elevate women's wrestling. But today I can stay here with a lot of confidence. I am La Mera Mera of this division. As champ, I just want to wrestle the best competition. She says, let's talk about the failures. She says, before Thunder Rosa with Thunder Rosa, I would drive up the California coastline to watch one wrestler. And she says, right now I want to call out the number one contender. So Serena Deeb comes out. And then she says, hey, Thunder Rosa, it's been a long time. I've watched you scratch and claw your way to the top. So respect to you. And she says, I truly believe that we can make this the best women's division in the entire world. But for that to happen, the best women's wrestler needs to be champ. And Thunder Rosa's like, well, I have title. Doesn't that make me the best?
Yeah. It's like, this is right
This
here.
would make me the best. And yeah, and then Deep says, well, sure, you're the champ. That suggests you're the best. But me, everybody's saying this. Everybody in the locker room's saying this. I'm on another level. I'm in a class all my own. It's about time I have the title to show that. And so Thunder Rosa says, well, you want to put a bet? You want to bet on that? Deeb says, sure. I'll place
channel
bet.
Points.
So yeah, channel points. All in on channel points. Serena Deeb on herself. He says, I'm going to place a bet that you're going to have the shortest title reign in history because at Double or Nothing, I'm taking your title.
That was punctuated by a John Silver promo. Was flexing the whole time. He's like, CM Punk, we're fighting next week. Do you want to dance with the Meat Man? You know why they call me that? Because I got these grade A sirloins.
He's flexing. Massive arms.
Next week, we're going to wrestle in my hometown of Long Island. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Pretty hilarious.
Then we got our main event, Mercedes Martinez versus Deonna Purrazzo for the ROH Women's Championship. Undisputed Women's Championship. Deonna's working Mercedes' arm early. At a commercial break, Mercedes mounts a comeback, hits a quarter drop kick, gets a 2. After that, Deonna is looking for the Fujiwara arm bar. Mercedes powers out. Deonna hits a pump kick, moonsault, 2 count for her. Twice, Deonna looked for the pile driver. Both times, Mercedes had to counter for it. Eventually, they hit the double clothesline spot. Deonna goes up top. Mercedes punches her, slams her off the top, hits a curb stomp. She's looking for the Dragon Sleeper. First with the arm that Deonna's had worked. And see, Deonna, sinks her teeth into Mercedes' arm. So Mercedes just switches to the other arm, locks on the Dragon Sleeper. Deonna taps.
Yep.
Solid bout, really solid bout.
Yeah, it was a really solid bout. I really like this. I got a couple new patrons here. Japheth Wyatt. Hope I pronounced that name correctly. Frenzy54, Sean, Josh Fields, and Nick Mazzaferro. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We got a bunch of reward tiers there, including at the $5 mark, get to check out our bonus episode every single week. Yesterday we did Overrun, which we took a look at 10 things that have to happen at WWE Backlash. And so check that out. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got the Numbers Don't Lie exclusive for patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs as well. We're going to be taking a look at the career of Ric Flair. First up, also, if you can't catch the show live, you can get on the Patreon and leave us a question. Mayor Planet Houston says, is there a potential Joker you could see coming in and winning the whole tournament? Claudio could. They can make that as a big thing for Claudio because everybody else kind of has, for the most part, I mean, you can get stories for everybody else to have some interference to protect certain people.
Yeah,
like
I think if it's Claudio or if it's Johnny Gargano, it's possible.
Yeah, Gargano's another good name for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Miro maybe, I guess, huh?
If Miro's in it, you don't put him in it to take an L.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's certainly not a clean one. Yeah. Wizard of Smoke says, should they make Dynamite a 3-hour show?
No, absolutely not.
He has a caveat here, but I'm with you. No, they shouldn't.
What's the caveat?
The caveat is that the other hour would be exclusively dedicated to women. No, they need to learn how to. Why can't they balance that out in 2 hours?
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody else does it.
Yep.
Let's see here. We've talked about that a little bit. Moses poses, thank you for the question.
3 hours is too long for a weekly television or weekly.
If it goes 3 hours,
show.
We're not doing this on Wednesday night.
No, 3 hours of any weekly wrestling show is too much.
Yep, don't need it. Let's see here. Dog Authority Figure says, who would be a better first trios champ, the Elite? Talking, I guess, about Kenny and the Bucks, or the Blackpool Combat Club?
BCC.
I'm all in on the BCC, man.
Hell yeah, man.
It's awesome.
They wreck everybody.
They do wreck everybody. Let's see here.
Golden Eagle here with the sub. Sorry, Golden Eagle with the sub. Thank you. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Shavon said, after watching the FTR singles match last week, it reminded me a lot of the DIY singles match from the Cruiserweight Classic. In a couple years, if FTR wants singles runs, do you guys see Dax and Cash having a feud similar to Ciampa Gargano? Sure. I don't know if they're ever going to want to do that, but the proper feud like that?
I suppose it's possible. I don't know if they have any interest in it, actually, but
I would be kind of surprised if they ever really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
That being said, they seem to have the kind of goodwill with like every wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. Imagine telling the DIY story through multiple promotions through multiple years. Wouldn't that'd be kind of cool? That's something I think they could pull off. But again, I have no idea if they'd be interested.
Yeah, I don't either. Maiku here says, I was thinking earlier, what if the Joker is Kenny? Who wins between him and Cole? I have a feeling that Kenny's a ways out from being healthy enough to return. But you think if he came back,
he'd be in it to win it.
Yeah. And Cole would get his win back on him, against him later on.
The Owen tournament is too small for Kenny. It really is. When Kenny comes back, it's going to be above titles. Let's see here. War Machine MJ says, given that New Japan doesn't have a women's roster but has a working relationship, well, they own Stardom.
Well, they're the same parent company, yeah.
Right, that's what I meant, yeah. Do you think Stardom will play a part at the Forbidden Door?
Every indication thus far suggests no, but I believe there has been some indication that there's some interest to do a Stardom AEW show.
David Matushek says, if MJF has any other feuds, should he use more mercenaries to take them out? And who should his mercenaries be? Yeah, I like that MJF's mercenaries are kind of Forbidden Door type stuff.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
As far as who it should be, he should have Zack Sabre Jr. be one of his mercenaries.
That'd be great.
I think it.
That'd be great. Shane's birthday tweet, seeing the final competitors in the Owen tournament, should have more Dark Horse wrestlers been involved. That would necessitate a larger field.
I feel like that was kind of the qualifiers.
Yeah. You need at least a 16 person field for that. An eight person field is you're kind of getting the best there.
Yep. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's our big streaming day, so at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. Of course, we've got NXT UK. We're going to be watching that. Right after that, for subs, YouTube channel members, and patrons, we got The Numbers Don't Lie. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the evening at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Smash Zone. No whammies.
No whammies.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.